Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. Todd Duplantis here. It is the 15th of November. Hard to believe we're halfway through the month. 2021 is almost in our rearview mirror, and we got the holidays coming up starting next week. Dr. Tony Rayo-Sutherland is with me this morning. We've got a couple of special guests coming up in just a few moments, Tony, but we want to remind everyone they can follow us in social media.
Absolutely. You just need to look for Houston Community College District on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and anything else that's probably social media, and you'll find us there and follow us.
That's right. We're all across social media. And just remember, folks, you can also watch us on HCCTV. That's right. If you don't catch the live show on Facebook Live or YouTube, you can take a look at our show, the rebroadcast at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. Okay, let's get on with the show. Tony, you're going to be introducing this next guest because it's Mental Health Monday. We always do that, I believe the first Monday of the month. That's where we are right now. And we've got Angela Hudson. She's the Interim Executive Director of NAMI of Greater Houston. Angela, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. So nice to be here on Mental Health Monday.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. We're looking forward to talking with you. And I think Tony's got some questions lined up for you. We'll be with you in just about 10 minutes or so. All right, we're going to kick things off. We've got two special guests as we launch National Apprenticeship Week by spotlighting our Business Center of Excellence and its hardworking and very eager students. We've got Dawn Spreeman-Heine. Is it Heine, Dawn? Is that right?
That's correct, Todd.
Okay. You're the managing director of Aon Commercial Risk Solutions and local leader of apprenticeships. Also, Brooklynn Glover. Brooklynn, welcome to the show. You're Apprentice data analyst for Aon, and you're also an HCC student. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Dawn, we're going to start with you first. So can you, we know it's National Apprenticeship Week, but maybe you can tell us about your apprenticeship program and give us an overview of Aon.
Great. So the Aon Apprenticeship Program, I'd be happy to give you an overview, which involves a little bit of history. In 2017, our company Aon in Chicago began asking ourselves, why are we requiring all of our applicants to have a 4-year degree? There's many roles in our business that do not require that, and there's many job duties within roles that do not require that. So it really had us take a look at retooling our recruitment model to assure that we were getting more diverse candidates into our organization for current business needs, obviously, and the needs of our future workforce. And also we had an attrition problem. We were really finding that we were assigning roles to 4-year college grads and jobs to 4-year college grads that really could have been used as an entry-level role to bring more diversity into our organization. So we started our Apprentice Network in 2017 with Aon and Accenture in Chicago. And it's been so successful that we've now expanded to 6 cities. And one of the expansion cities for the U.S. is Houston. And the largest, most diverse economy in the United States. So it's a perfect place for it. I can give you more details about the program if you like, Todd.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about it, specifically what the students are doing for you guys.
Absolutely. So our program at Aon is a 2-year program. We provide students with the opportunity to join our firm as employees, to work for us 40 hours a week. And they spend about 28 hours a week doing on-the-job learning and projects with specific to their job roles we've identified, and about 12 hours a week engaged in their degree plan with HCC. Aon pays for a solid, good full-time salary for our apprentices. We also provide tuition, books, fees, and we provide full benefits, including retirement, to our apprentices that join us as employees.
That's, when you think about it, that's incredible. And it's life-changing for students who are just trying to get through college, much less they get a job, they get to train at the job. I mean, you're talking full benefits. This is really, do you think this is the trend of where we're going in this country right now? Because you certainly get the new workers on board, you can train them your way, but they also benefit by getting their college paid for and getting that valuable experience and a meaningful job at the same time.
Yeah, it really is. This earn and learn model is really taking off. You know, if you think about it, 2/3 of Americans don't have a 4-year degree. But yet we're all faced with all of these challenges trying to find people to hire to bring into our organizations. It really is a wave of the future. And the results have been so great that every employer we talk to is really interested in this model. So we're working to try to bring more employers into the fold. We have a great inventory of talent. We just have to, supply, right? We have an infinite supply of talent. We're just trying to boost demand with employers so that they will actually set up these programs and hire apprentices to join their organization.
So if someone's watching this and they're thinking, wow, I want to get in on this, how do I do this? Do they go to HCC first, apply to a course, or do they go to your firm? How does it work in order for someone to get accepted into the apprenticeship program? And I know HCC has year-round enrollment. Do you guys have cohorts that start at a certain time? How does that work?
Yeah, so, students watching or others interested in getting involved, you can definitely reach out to HCC because they are very ingrained in developing apprentice programs and working to further them by industry. So great resource there. Certainly, there are other avenues to do that. We have the Greater Houston Apprentice Network that we're building in Houston, where we're trying to bring the career seekers together with the employers and other not-for-profit providers to help get the information out. What we do for Aon Houston is we have one cohort a year, and they get hired in August. Ours has been with us for 3 months now, our first cohort of 10 in Houston. And each year we will hire. The schedule may vary a little bit by employer. Maybe in April, maybe they do January, maybe they do August, maybe they do once or twice a year cohorts. But it will vary from employer to employer, just like the program I described to you varies from employer to employer.
Brooklynn, I want to bring you into the conversation. Why don't you tell us your story? How did you get involved with this? And tell us about your experience, not only at HCC, but working for Aon.
So for me, the way that I was able to get looped in through the program is that I know an Aon employee of like 20 plus years is like my aunt. So she was able to tell me about the program when I moved down to Houston in May. So that was a really good opportunity for me because I was looking and I was searching for something more substantial and meaningful in my life as far as jobs, because I've been working various jobs leading up to this apprenticeship. Right. I started out, for me, it was a very important option for me also, and something that I was very excited about applying to and going through the process with, because I did like 3.5 years of college previously. So because I wasn't able to finish out and I lost my funding, so I wasn't able to finish school, I was very interested in the program, in that I will be able to get a degree and I will be able to further my educational status.
And this must be a game changer for you. I mean, you not only get to work, but you do get to complete your degree and get your education at the same time. And you also get benefits and, start thinking about retirement and savings for that. Absolutely.
And Aon is a fantastic organization for that because they are really well versed in those things. So for me, someone coming from my background of my family not knowing much about those specific things, not knowing much about wealth building and whatnot and retirement funds, I feel like it's a very informational place where I can seek out information and know that I can trust that information and know that they are leading me in the right direction as far as savings and as far as retirement, as far as building my future, not only financially, but also educationally, also, in a future sense.
And for people might be wondering, what exactly are you doing for Aon? Maybe you can tell us your job title and what your role defines.
So my job title, for me at first, it was a bit confusing because it's kind of a different part of Aon that most people are used to. For me, most apprentices where I'm at in the Houston location, most of them are within Houston, but my team that I work with is all virtual. So I work like within the ABS part with Aon Business Services. Essentially where I'm at within that is we work with the suppliers who we kind of outsource certain things to, and that's within like the Center of Excellence. So essentially I say that I'm like a data analyst apprentice for vendor management, and that's kind of how I lead with it. I explain it that way.
Dawn, I want to bring you back. When people think of apprenticeships, I know when I think about it, I think of plumbing, electrical, construction. This is a whole new wave of apprenticeships with looking at it outside the box, I guess. And you think, from what we talked about earlier, this is kind of a trend we're heading to in this country?
Absolutely. Expanding beyond the trades, skilled craft and trades field, which has been around forever, actually dates back to the beginning of our country and even over to the UK. And it's been around forever and it's worked so well. There really is an expansion of this model throughout all employment, certainly the professional realm, the business services realm. You think about IT and data analytics and everything that we're faced with going into the future and the extreme need we have to upskill people into those roles. It's just really perfect timing, given everything we've gone through the last year or two. So it's really a great model, and it's just all about educating everyone about that. In addition to that, the crafts and skills, the companies have done such a good job with this. They are expanding their programs to business services, HR, legal, customer service, all of those other areas of their company. So they're very excited about it too.
Dawn, are you very excited? I'm sorry, Dawn. Brooklyn, are you very excited about your future now?
I am very excited. I think for me, having the issues with school previously, I was a late diagnosis of ADHD. So I always had difficulties with school growing up, and I never really understood why. And it wasn't until my freshman year going into college in 2016 that I was diagnosed and put on medication that later didn't work anymore, which is kind of, it all leads down to just the path where I'm at now. And I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything that happens just leads you to where you're supposed to be. And I really have always felt like from the interview process, then in the entire process of just getting into Aon, I felt like this is where I was meant to be. This is where I was leading up to be. So I am very excited. I'm very excited. I've had a lot of growth so far, even within the 3 months. So I am honestly very stoked to see what I will become in 2 years from now.
That's an incredible story. Brooklynn Glover, apprentice data analyst for Aon Business Services, also an HCC student, and Dawn Spreeman-Heine, who is the managing director for Aon Commercial Risk Solutions. We appreciate you both being here, telling us your story. Brooklyn, we wish you the best of luck. Dawn, keep coming to us. We'll send you more apprentices here from HCC. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, we're going to turn things over to Dr. Tony. And Tony, it's Mental Health Monday. Always a good thing for a Monday to kind of get our mind in order. I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you. Yes, after the weekend, you always need to get focused again. Well, we have Angelina Hudson. She's the Interim Executive Director of NAMI of Greater Houston. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Now, in case you don't know, NAMI means stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. Right. So tell us a little bit, today, or not today, but this recent pandemic has really affected all of us in so many ways, and mental health is a big part of it. So tell us a little bit about how that has affected us. And what is NAMI doing to help the situation?
Well, I can tell you right now, Tony, that what we've noticed during the pandemic, people are contacting our office who have never been on the radar for a mental health condition. Not only are more people calling us about stressors related to depression and anxiety that are not diagnosed, they're not looking for a diagnosis either. They're also looking for strategies or ways to cope and manage with what they're feeling, even though they've not engaged with a traditional system of care. So they've not been to a psychiatrist, they've not been to a psychologist. There is no treatment plan in place when they come to us now. And so NAMI traditionally has served people who were already diagnosed, who have been in the hospital. They know this is what they're dealing with, and they're looking for our support. So NAMI has expanded our services through a warm line. We have an actual number, 713-970-4483, where we just answer questions and help people navigate systems of care when they find themselves in need of emotional or mental health support. And then we've also come up with a new strategy called Healing Circles, which is a program where we just talk about our experiences in a very constructed manner. So if someone does need more clinical support for a mental health problem, then we're able to connect them to a more clinical care atmosphere.
I like you call it a warm line instead of a hot line. It's a warm line. I like that. It's it's like I need help, but maybe not an extreme thing.
Right.
So that's really neat. And there's some protective factors and treatment options that you have. Tell us a little bit about that.
So what we have is a number of psychoeducation courses that are free to the public. You take them online. We also have support groups, but support groups and psychoeducation are two totally different animals, and I'll explain. NAMI is the country's leading voice in the grassroots model of how to manage the throes of mental and behavioral health issues, whether you're the person who's actually experiencing the issues or you're part of the fabric that loves that person. Either you're a friend or a family member. And so we encourage people to get educated. If you don't know what you're looking at, and more importantly, if you don't know what to do about it, then we are a free resource available to the public to reach out and find that information. And we have 1 hour webinars, 90-minute, we have 4-hour seminars. But for people who are really like first degree caregivers, like, this is your journey, then we have more substantial courses that are 8 to 10 weeks. And all of these services are rendered free to those that we're serving. So if you call us, we'll connect you. And not only that, you can call us over and over again, no matter what point you are, what stage you are. It could be someone who's just emerging and thinking that, hey, there might be a problem in my own personal mental health and wellness, or it could be a family member, or you could have been through this cycle more than once and you found a place called recovery, but the pandemic is creating new challenges. Mm-hmm. So now you have to come up with new strategies, and we're there for that person as well, especially students, right?
Right.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, you're right. Students have to, they've got the extra thing, like some of them have to do online and they're not used to online, or, other things that are going on for them.
So I want to highlight one thing, the reason that I even brought up college students. What we know is that 50% of all adult cases where there's a mental health problem, they start by age 14. 75% of those adult cases start by age 24. I mean, they're identifiable, right? Somebody is aware. So between 14 and 24 is where our population that's going to have a lifelong chronic illness, that's where it shows up. And the number one indicator for triggering a person who may have had a dormant predisposition for a mental health situation to pop up or arise is stress. Stress will how my dad used to say, pressure will burst a pipe. Stress will bubble up issues that are lying dormant within our bodies, and mental health is one of those. So, we're there for college students. Number one, we have peer-led services. The warm line is available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then there's a number one indicator for helping people sustain their recovery. That's why it was so appropriate for Aon to be on this call today. And it's significant work. Not necessarily competitive employment, although it could be. But once a person finds their niche, mental health conditions, because they're triggered by stress, we encourage college students especially to monitor their level of stress and their bandwidth, their ability to subsidize that stress or offset it so that they can stay mentally and behaviorally healthy, right? And so, finding your way. Everyone is not going to have the same path to success. And so we have to, on an individual level, define what that means to us. I am just so proud of Brooklyn for finding her path and her journey once she was diagnosed with ADHD. She said she was a late diagnosis. Nope, that was right on time, because when her issues kind of blossomed to the fact, and there's 3 indicators that you might need additional examination or support. One is the inability to maintain your schedule either at work or on the job. You're missing days, you're not able to maintain that, not being able to take care of your daily function. You know, you may have a bank account full of money, but you just can't pay your bills. Or you have 5 different alarm clocks, but you can't get anywhere on time. Just not able to take care of your daily function. And the 3rd indicator is not being able to engage in healthy, satisfying relationships. You know, no one is getting along. You can't find a place to rest because there's a lot of conflict. Then those are the 3 big indicators that, you know what, you may need some support. And if you don't know where to go, again, NAMI Greater Houston has a warm line. And we're in a building where there's also a crisis line. So if we are talking to you and we realize that the issue is not just warm, but you may need some more immediate intervention.
Go into the boiling area.
Yeah. Where you're at the end of your rope, you've already tied the knot, but it still slips, then we can get you the support that you need. And even though our programs are free to the public and free to those we serve, we're only able to do this through donations and so forth. And so we just appreciate the people who advocate, like you, for mental health services.
I wanted to jump in.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Angelina, I wanted to jump in because NAMI's been on the news locally lately in response to the tragic Astroworld incident. And I know your services have been mentioned a number of times. Maybe you can talk about that, how you've made yourself available. And, without getting to specific cases, have you seen an increase? Because from what I'm hearing, even if you weren't injured in the event, there's still a lot of people who are dealing with traumatic and PTSD. Maybe you can talk about that from what you've heard.
Absolutely. And you're right in line with the pandemic and the freeze that we had where people were displaced in their housing. Any traumatic event like the one you just mentioned is going to create a traumatic impact on the brain. And that is one of our core beliefs or values with NAMI, that we see a new diagnosis, the new onset of signs and symptoms of some mental or emotional imbalance as a trauma to the person and a trauma to the people who love them. And you're right, you're just right on the spot with that, because anytime a person's life or safety is threatened, whether it is real or perceived, whether it is an attack on them or one that they witness. And that's what you're referring to. Yeah. This is something where people felt not only threatened for their own safety, but they watched a situation where others were not, and their lives were threatened. And so it has traumatized the brain. The brain is a social organ. It is a medical condition when the brain is so traumatized that now it is injured. And so that is another way in which a person can present a mental health condition, even though it's not organic. It doesn't run in their families. It's not hereditary. There was not a chemical imbalance before the incident. However, once the ear gates and the eye gates witness something horrific and traumatic to them, it triggered such an injury to the brain. Here's the good news. Over 90% of people who get appropriate intervention and appropriate treatment do just fine. But it takes time. The brain, just if you break your arm, twist your ankle, injure yourself, take a terrible fall, it takes time. It is also going to take time to heal the brain, and it is also going to require clinical attention, medical attention for that.
I had to just ask real quick. You said something about a biopsychosocial approach.
Yes.
Just explain that real quick.
So our values through NAMI includes the biopsychosocial approach, which means the bio approach is we want you to engage in a system of care and get a viable treatment plan that works for you. It's just critical. And that is not saying, oh, you've got to take a medication. And certainly NAMI does not say you have to take this one or that one. What we do is share all the different types of providers that are available to you, whether you're insured, underinsured, or uninsured. There is help. There is someone who cares for all populations. Number two, there's the psycho approach, which means you need to understand what you're dealing with. PTSD and bipolar disorder are not the same. And bipolar disorder that's diagnosed in one person will not look the same in the second or third person. It's different. It's very unique to your situation. So you have to have this psychoeducation, right, to understand what it is and how it's impacting you. And then the third piece is the social interaction component, your network of support, your coping skills. Find your people. Find where you can go and talk about these things where there's no judgment, you're not criticized, you're not blamed, because it is no one's fault. And so that's our biopsychosocial approach. And NAMI is there ready by the phones to help you find that path.
Well, we really appreciate you being on. This is such a timely subject, and we really appreciate you being on. This is Angelina Hudson, Interim Executive Director of NAMI of Greater Houston, and we really appreciate all the work that you guys do.
Well, thank you, Angelina. Yeah, we're going to have some information. If you'd like to reach out to NAMI, we're going to have some information in our social media post as well. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, Tony, we're going to move on to our HCC news and announcements for this half hour. We've got a few of them we want to get to before we wrap things up. Branding Academy, that is taking off right now, and it's happening today and Wednesday.
Yes, it is called Working with Images, 5 hands-on sessions at the West Houston Institute to help you brand your product so that you can sell it faster and easier.
That's right. In filmmaking lecture series, we've had those before. We've got another one coming up this week. Weekly series features local, regional, and national professionals from a variety of areas in the film and television production. Market noon to 2 p.m., Wednesday, November the 17th. That's this coming Wednesday. We'll have Lakeisha Lemons who will be joining us. Make sure you sign up for this one. If you'd like to know how, we'll include a link in our social media post. And for the sake of time, I want to skip on down to the Coleman story, because Coleman says communication is key. They've got some virtual event coming up.
Coleman College Faculty Senate representatives are hosting Dr. Herbert Jackson, respiratory program professor, to discuss the importance of communication. That's going to be Friday, November 19th from 1 to 2 p.m.
That's right, coming up this Friday. And once again, you can't forget, we are almost done with 2021. Spring 2022 registration is underway right now at HCC. You can learn in 5 different ways. Some of them are only online, some are online and in person. And then, of course, we have in-person classes back on the campuses as of this semester. Very easy to sign up, but the classes are going to be very small. So you need to sign up early, get the right class you need, the time you need, and the professor. Go to hccs.edu/news to our news, hccs.edu/now to register today. Now. Okay, tomorrow's Tasty Tuesday.
Yes, we're going to welcome Craft Creamery with chef-driven ice cream. Now, that sounds like my kind of stuff. Chef Steve, is it Marquet?
Marks, maybe?
Marks, yeah. Well, he'll launch a new flavor of his small batch of French pot method ice cream. Ooh, I want to be there.
Yeah, and we can't taste it virtually, but we can show it to you. We'll have that on tomorrow. Also, someone from the HCC Creative Writing Advisor, Courtney Smith, will be here as well. We'll have all that and more tomorrow morning on Up to the Minute. Tony will be back. I'll be back, 10 a.m. live right here.